Alright, so welcome guys. Hari ini we're gonna be focusing on the topic of moving your team ya. Jadi terutama is how to create an elite performance team based on our scale right model on how to build the business. Ini ada di people side of things, which is more on the management. Alright, so I'm gonna share with you guys sedikit some of the common problems that people face when it comes to managing performance overall gitu ya. So biasanya one of the most common frustration points ini adalah people only do some of the things sometime. Jadi you have a process tapi nggak selalu diikutin kayak gitu. As a result, you may lack a certain level of consistency in your team gitu. So sometimes good, sometimes not. Sometimes they follow the process, sometimes they don't. They take shortcuts here and there. The other common problem juga is because usually in terms of developing people's skills, it's done in an organic way. Ya, jadi developmentnya itu terhadap timnya hanya sesuai kebutuhan yang kerasa saat itu. Jadi sakitnya di mana baru kita cari obatnya gitu loh. Sakitnya di mana kita cari obatnya. And so there's no lack of design to create what does the ideal team member harusnya tuh menguasai gitu kan. And then the other issue usually is some sort of communication gap. So I think Elgin, you mentioned this before. Ini apa ya? This can bisa muncul di beberapa hal. Number one is making apa ya? In terms of making sure information is flowing clearly supaya everyone knows what to do and what to expect. Tapi bisa juga ya kayak gitu ada relation gap and this gray blurred line of borders between colleagues or between leaders, and how do we manage ourselves, how do we manage with each other. Ultimately it's about building trust and connection dari sininya gitu loh, and ensuring that apa ya, communication is the blood of your business. If the blood is flowing well, you'll get enough oxygen in your business gitu. So we're gonna need this. And then one of the most common things people complain about adalah amateur behavior. Ya, jadi perilakunya mereka itu yang mereka tunjukkan tidak mencerminkan perilaku seseorang profesional di bidangnya. So if we compare your average team member with a professional athlete, professional musician, kadang-kadang work ethicnya agak berbeda in terms of preparation, execution, recuperation dari situnya, right? And as a result, kalau empat-empatnya ini muncul, biasanya what's going to happen is motivation for the team is going to be the burden of the manager. Yeah, so if you look at the first one, do some of the things some of the time. Your main issue di sini adalah tentang making sure there's a lack of consistency in how people do things in your organization. Okay, kalau your development sekarang nih masih cuman organik sifatnya, dalam arti sakitnya di sini kita coba obatin, sakitnya di situ kita coba obatin, your team will generally lack skill dari situnya. There's an issue and they don't really know what to do next properly. Communication gaps, definitely your issue there is going to be on the communication flow, information flow. Behavior is all about the discipline. Gitu. And then ujung-ujungnya bebannya ada di manajernya untuk memotivasi timnya terus. Okay, so kira-kira for you guys, kalau kita bilang this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, tolong tulis di chat box dong, atau you can just say it out. Which one's your biggest problem right now? Number 1, 2, 3, atau 4? Okay, alright, so jadi here's your opportunity. Jadi if you're struggling with number 1, you have to be clear bahwa your goal or the opportunity that you guys have is to make sure that people are doing the right things all of the time. Ya kan? So that's ultimately the goal that you want everyone to go to gitu loh. Jadi they're doing the right things all of the time is going to give you a high chance of winning. And then in terms of kalau misalnya you have an issue with the skill, you got to make sure that your team is apa ya, have you give them a development plan atau development program that will help them achieve mastery in whatever they do. Ya, jadi too often training program di perusahaan is about sudah melakukan trainingnya. Jadi it's just sudah atau belum. Instead of sudah mahir atau masih developing. Right? So just like in any band, in any sports team that is playing at the highest level, they need everyone in the team to be at a level of mastery in whatever it is that they do. Ya kan kita kalau di band pengen musisinya tuh sebaik mungkin gitu loh. Harus lebih jago lagi, harus lebih jago lagi. Atlet juga misalnya tim sepak bola, tim basket, mereka semua pengen teman-temannya lebih jago lagi, lebih jago lagi, lebih jago lagi. Okay, so that's the initial mindset that we need to have a high performance organization ultimately. And then in terms of communication, yang kita perlu cari adalah ini nih. So it's about harmonic collaboration. Ya, jadi do I need to be friends with my team? Do I need to be a hard boss? Whatever it may be, the combination lies somewhere in the middle. Ujung-ujungnya, it has to allow you to achieve this harmonic collaboration. Ya, jadi jangan sampai kolaborasinya ini terhambat oleh karena alasan apapun. Alright, so you can be as close as you need to be, as distant as you need to be, as long as the collaboration is quite harmonic. There's no right, there's no wrong answer. You don't have to be a different kind of person than you are right now. You just have maybe adjust some behavior at this point. Okay? And then when it comes to discipline, yang kita harapkan di sini adalah a professional behavior. Ya, jadi before we can have the result, we have to behave like someone who's deserving of that result. Ya kan, jadi kalau ada orang perilakunya amatiran, susah dong dia berharap mendapatkan hasil seseorang yang profesional. Right? If you think about it, if you have a full-time employee that has a side job and he's training to run a marathon on the weekends, there's no way he's going to get the same level of achievement as a professional athlete who all day, every day lives and breathes running the marathon. Yeah, kan? So the same thing with your salespeople, with your operations people, with your marketing people. If they're not behaving like they are going to be the best salespeople, the best marketing people, it's going to be hard for them to get the best result. Gitu, yeah. And ultimately, we want to move this burden of motivation going from manager-driven motivation into self-driven motivation. Dari situ. Okay. So, berdasarkan what I have shared with you so far, what's making sense? What could be useful for you guys? All right, so I'm going to share with you guys the key principles nih that we need to keep in mind as we go along untuk elite performance management. Number one is you gotta be clear on the purpose gitu. Jadi kita harus clear banget why are we doing what we're doing. Yeah, you gotta know for every single function, why do we need them to achieve that goal? Gitu ya. They also need to be clear. Why do I need to be the best at this? Why do I need to achieve elite level performance? Okay? And that links to this part, which is you need to know who you need to have in your team. Given the position atau function yang kalian mau isi, you're looking at two things, right? We want to see behavior yang paling cocok nih seperti apa, and competency. Nah, terus yang ketiganya ini, you need to set them up to win. So put yourself in the position of the head of a army platoon gitu ya. Kalau Anda bayangin Anda jadi pemimpin pelaton tentara yang mau perang, right? You're not gonna send them to war and say, figure it out. You've had the training. I'm sure you can do it. I'll see you when we get home gitu kan. You want to make sure that they come back home alive and you succeed in the mission. And that's got to be the same with every single employee that you have. Ya kan, kita harus menciptakan struktur supaya mereka bisa menang. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to see what the structure is. And then the fourth thing, ini kuncinya di sini, is you want to strive for incremental improvement. Jadi untuk setiap perbaikan yang kita inginkan, kita ingin mindsetnya incremental. So we don't need to go from A to Z, but we're happy with A to B, B to C, C to D. And then number 5, talking about mindset, you want to make sure they have that mental edge gitu loh. Ya, kita pengen kalau mereka perform at the highest level, then you want them to have a high performance mindset. What that means is kalian sebagai people leaders have to be improving yourself on practical psychology. Okay. All right. So based on what I have shared, berdasarkan apa yang sudah saya share di sini, which one do you feel is most important for you right now? Okay. All right. So this is your kerangkanya, kurikulumnya nih. This is basically what we're doing here, and this is what we're going to use to diagnose and to improve juga dari sininya. So there's 5 key things, which is the elite performance advantage. Yang pertama nih, you want to create transparency and accountability. Okay, so kita ada 3 hal utama yang harus kita perhatikan when it comes to this. Jadi we have clear goals untuk setiap orang dan setiap posisi, clear measures, sama clear actions, apa aja yang harus dia lakukan. Okay, so ini jadinya for, apalagi kalau di posisi yang sales, every position, basically each person should have a target, they should have KPI, sama they should have KPA. Key Performance Indicators, angka-angka apa aja yang harus kita perhatikan yang menunjukkan bahwa dia akan achieve targetnya atau tidak, atau seberapa jauhnya dia dari target. KPA, Key Performance Actions, hal apa aja yang dia harus lakukan secara rutin untuk make sure dia akan achieve KPIs-nya. Now for you guys, let's start ranking dari sini. Kira-kira kalian untuk ini, merah belum ada sama sekali, kuning, you have some of them and it's kind of being used. Atau, sorry, why am I writing it the other way around? So this should be red, yellow, or green. Kira-kira kalian kalau untuk ini, red, yellow, atau green? You can unmute or just type on the chat. Nextnya adalah your process itself gitu ya. Jadi ini saya tulisnya di sini sales process, tapi ini bisa untuk apapun. So kebetulan kalian semua mikirnya sales. So 3 hal yang harus kita perhatikan adalah tahap-tahapannya tuh apa saja, right? They have to be clear what the sales flow is like, right? What are the stages in the sales process? They have to make sure bahwa there's scripts for each stage and they're mastering those scripts. And then there are tools that are useful for each of those things. Jadi contohnya a questionnaire that you send to your clients, there's a video that you send to your to the prospects and things like that. Ya kan? Semuanya ini harusnya help these guys achieve these things. Okay? Jadi kalau di sini a green adalah yep, it's working and it's really helping us achieve our goals. Okay? Merah, we probably don't have any of these things. Yellow, some homework to do. This should be green. Okay, this is green. Okay, silahkan. Kalian untuk sales process ada di mana kira-kira? Alright, communication flow. Super simple. Ini basically gimana caranya komunikasi ini mengalur weekly, daily, sama one-on-one meetings. Right? So usually what happens here is basically you're gonna have some sort of weekly work in progress meeting. Ini bisa sales department meeting, looking at your CRM, pokoknya agendanya bagus and meetings are productive, people are engaged. Okay? Daily adalah huddle. What's the one thing I'm working on today? What help do I need today? Celebrations, all those things. Kayak kita ada video training tentang rapat-rapatnya ini. And then ini one-on-ones. It's all about development. Okay? So, untuk ini, okay, I'm gonna get it right. Green, yellow, atau red? Silahkan. The other thing that you want to be talking about during your communication flow is your developing mastery things. So you want to develop mastery in terms of the process and the skills, right? Jadi for each of the process that they're responsible for, we need to get them to a level of mastery. Mereka harus mahir, bukan cuma sudah di training, tapi harus mahir, right? Every single athlete, the best ones, will review a recording of their past performance. Gitu loh. Jadi kalau in a sales team, pastikan ada rekaman phone call, rekaman presentasi, rekaman whatever it may be. Okay? Ask for permission from the prospects. Part of our ongoing development adalah we need to review our calls. Is it okay if we record it? Supaya saya nggak ada yang kelupaan, is it okay if I record today's conversation? Yeah, so there's no excuse not to be able to record this. Di Zoom kah, atau pakai audio tape or whatever it is. Kalau alasannya, tapi saya nggak suka dengerin suara saya sendiri, gitu kan. Okay, what about your prospects? Kasian kan prospectsnya if they have to listen to your voice if you don't like the sound of your own voice. What do you need to change? Jadi kayak gitu. So they have to get comfortable with watching themselves, listening to themselves. Okay, the first thing di sini adalah self-analysis. Like best next time. Dari apa yang saya tonton, apa yang saya dengarkan, this is what I like, this is what I need to improve next time. And then you can discuss that with your boss on a one-on-one. Okay, kita bisa review bersama, what did you like, what do you think you're going to improve? Teman-teman, what did you like, what do you think is going to improve? So jadi ada recording analysisnya juga. The simplest way of doing this adalah journal. At the end of every single key action, write down what worked well, what needs to be improved. Atau at the end of every day, hari ini, what did I do right, what do I need to improve for tomorrow? Gitu. So, kalian gimana di sini? Red, yellow, or green? And then the last thing adalah self-management. Ya, kalau self-management ini, kita ada 3 hal nih. Jadi, you want to make sure bahwa your team has that peak performance mindset, and then they have a pre-game habit, and then they have a post-game habit. Gitu. Okay? So, for you guys, untuk ini, are we on green, yellow, atau red? Siapa yang mau duluan? You're looking for opportunities of improvement, ya. Kalian nggak mau menghukum diri sendiri di sini. Alright, so now I'm going to share with you guys some tools yang kalian bisa lakukan to design and improve these areas, gitu ya.